Walt was a very humble man. He served unselfishly. He worked quietly behind the scenes. He wanted no notoriety or publicity. Walt just wanted to exalt his Lord and not himself. In fact, I believe he would have been embarrassed today by all the testimonies we would be sharing about him. And Walt was not only full of the Spirit, but he was full of faith. Walt believed the first building program in the 60s, the H Street building, the building that we are in now, could be built. He was a man of faith. He believed God would supply. And God did. 30, 40 years later, Walt again, he believed that God could build a Ninth Street building by faith. And it was done. Walt simply believed that God could do it. And he did it in Walt's lifetime. The 8th Street building and the 9th Street building. Literally, Uncle Walt prayed for it, believing God could do it. And he did it. Lastly, I want to say, Walt was a good man. He influenced people to Christ. And Acts 11:24 says this, "For he was a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and of faith." And notice this phrase, "and considerable numbers were brought to the Lord." On certain Sundays, Pastor Al will be preaching to the English congregation, and 1/4 to 1/5, or to 1/5 of the English congregation were all college students back in the 90s. It was simply amazing. Uncle Walt gave his heart and his soul to serve people, especially to the college students. In conclusion, may I tell you this little story? And Uncle Walt never told anyone. He was so quiet. But I must tell you it this morning. Mr. Chester Wong was a faithful servant at CIBC, always quietly working behind the scenes. One day, Chester was taken ill and was unable to come back to church. I took Uncle Walt and we visited Chester at his home. We did a home communion with Chester. And later, the Lord took Chester home, a very faithful and quiet servant of the Lord. And now, the Lord has taken Uncle Walt home, a very faithful and quiet servant of the Lord. For he was a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and of faith, and considerable numbers were brought